What's up, y'all? Seasons are changing. It's getting super warm outside, so it is pretty windy, but we're out here at TSR once again. A couple times on the channel I have done board reviews before, but I was kind of just explaining what I remembered feeling the last time I rode on those boards. So today I thought it'd be super sick to kind of just take my board out on the water and tell you exactly what I'm feeling at the moment it's happening. In my personal opinion, this board here, the Hyperlite Free Press, is the best cable board on the market for myself. Each and every person that wakeboards though is different, so not everyone is gonna have the same exact taste in boards as me, but I did try to have this board designed to fit a very large spectrum of people. But yeah, rather than talking a bunch of crap on land, let's get everything put on and we'll hop out there on the water. All right, out here on the water. So one thing I noticed whenever I ride this board is whenever I kind of look down, the nose and the tail of the board look a little bit wide because it is a little bit wider than most boards on the nose and the tail, but the overall width on this board isn't really that wide. It's around 1 centimeter narrower than, say, a Wishbone or Union Hyperlite wakeboard. Since the board is a little bit narrower than, say, a Wishbone or a Union, the board does really carve back and forth nicely and is super responsive. The reason for the nose and tail being a little bit wider and kind of flattened off, it kind of helps you nose press or tail press a little bit easier, just because if you were to have more of a rounded nose, you could kind of tip side to side whenever you're pressing, rather than when it's flat. It won't really allow you to fall off either side, and also the width will kind of help you whenever you're on more of a narrower rail, and you won't really fall off the side of it so easily. You'll see right here that the nose and tail features, whenever cranking out a tail press really hard, even all the way up into a wheelie, allows you to really consistently just hold that press, and you can make it all the way to the end of the rail. This board does have really small channels, which does make air tricks a bit easier, but they're not like super big channels, so whenever you are in like a butter slide position, it doesn't really feel like you're gonna catch an edge or anything like that. It does move about on the water nice and freely. Something that you should know about the channels on the board is that they are shaped to the exact dimensions of the edge of the board. So whenever you are on a pipe rail that's narrow, say like this one right here, it's actually physically impossible for the pipe to get fitted into that channel, so you won't ever end up getting sucked and locked onto that channel on top of the rail. You'll always be able to move freely. Let's talk about the speed of this board. There's actually 2 types of speeds whenever you are on a cable wakeboard. One type of speed would be whether the board is fast or slow on the water, like right now, and the second type of speed would be whether this board is fast or slow on top of an obstacle. Let's talk about speed on the water. I can feel right now that this board is actually not that fast, but it's also not too slow. The board does have quite a lot of rocker, which won't make it the fastest thing on top of the water, but it's not too much, so it doesn't feel like a plow. It also doesn't feel like you're flying across the water insanely fast. It feels just kind of like a sort of medium speed wakeboard. The speed loss with the large amount of rocker is actually pretty awesome because it does allow for a pretty big ollie. So you can hop up onto features that are a bit taller, like that one, with a lot more ease. If you are looking into getting a wakeboard that is a little bit flatter than this one and, say, a little bit faster on the water, you might lose a tiny bit of ollie power, but something that is great about that is that you might be able to take a slightly longer set and you might get slightly less tired while riding. So it's kind of like picking your poison, I guess, of what you prefer. Let's talk about speed on obstacles, right? I'd have to say that the base on this board on the obstacles is extremely slippery, I feel like. Something else to take note of about the base of this board is that the edges are shined, so they are slightly raised. So whenever you're hitting a homemade feature like this one, if there happens to be a screw slightly sticking up, it gives you kind of like a little bit of leeway so that you won't really catch on it and you won't die and your board won't get destroyed. Speaking of those chined edges, this does make the board super forgiving. So if you are in a butter slide on the water and it is slightly choppy like this, it kind of helps you from catching an edge, and yeah, you can just really move freely without having to worry about just catching an edge and getting a concussion. I know a lot of y'all want to talk about the flex of a lot of wakeboards, how much flex is there, and in this board there is a lot of flex. There is in the nose and tail of the board. They are thinned out towards the nose and tail, so it is a bit flexier there than say the center of the board. The center of this board is a bit thicker, so you can have a bit more solid of landing, so it really does allow you to press or butter on the water, and it also allows you to kind of land off kicker. Speaking of landings, as I said, the center of the board is a bit more beefed up. Also, as I was saying earlier, the board does have a bit more rocker, so whenever you do land super heavy, the water kind of disperses out the front and back of the board, so you won't have like a super heavy landing. And what's so dope about this is that you can actually blast it as mega as you want without having to worry about your knees exploding. So let's send it as big as we can right here. And let's do another mega blaster right here. This is pretty sick because you kind of get the best of rails, kickers, and air tricks without really having to sacrifice much in a wakeboard. Also, we can't forget durability, so let's just smash this on this corner. I mean, I just smashed that as hard as I could right there, and I mean, she's solid. I've also been riding this deck for 6 months right now, and not just 6 months on unit rails either. We've been winching over rocks, concrete ledges, and things like that, also ripping on homemade parks like the levee. Let's do another front lip smash right here on this corner. Smash down on this pipe. And another front lip smash here as well. And I think that's kind of everything about this board, I'm pretty sure. I am done on the water for now, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably a little bit biased towards this board because it was specifically designed for me. However, whenever me and Aaron Stump from Hyperlite were designing this board, my overall goal was to make your guys' lives a lot easier on the water. I really do find this board insanely easy to ride, even when hopping on it the very first time. I'm not gonna try and push this board super heavy on anyone because I just don't really like doing that. But if you have tried my board and you do love it, I think it would be so sick if you rocked it. I do know that not everyone in the entire world is gonna have the same exact taste in wakeboards as myself. So if you don't like my wakeboard, one thing I do ask is that whenever you do try other boards and you're looking to purchase one, try and purchase a wakeboard with someone's name on it, because there's not a whole lot of money in the sport of wakeboarding, and every purchase of the pro rider that you buy their board, they will get a portion of the money from that sale. So every time you buy a pro board, you are helping that rider out. I do know that non-pro model boards are slightly cheaper, so if you are on a budget, I'm not gonna hate on you for trying to save some money. If you guys did like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Comment below what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future, and remember, I'll be uploading a video every second day forever, so make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.